here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when future videos are out. The topic of this video is about thoughts about the MCU and, you know, with the coronavirus lockdown, the shutdowns of the industries, it pushed all of the MCU films at least a year back or more than their timeline. And the thing is, since all their movies are connected, you can't make or produce the other films until you get to Black Widow, the Eternals, then you move forward. You can't get the later films and jump them ahead. So everything got pushed back, and I think what it hurt most was the momentum of where the business was going. Because even when business returns, I really don't think we are going to have the packed movie theaters or packed sporting events like before the shutdown. It will take a long time to return to normal in society, much less the movie business returning to its normal levels. It might not be that way for a long time. And I don't think this year it's going to return to those levels. So the expectations have got to be lower. And when I think about the movie business, before I get to some more MCU rumors and talk, is I think what's going to happen and why it's going to hurt is new ideas, new properties that have never been made before. You see, everyone goes, well, another sequel, or they're doing a reboot. Why are they doing this? Why don't they give us new ideas, Hollywood, right? Part of the reason for that is you already pre-sold the audience with a franchise or something that people like. You see, the hardest thing to do is to get someone to try a new property, a new movie, to get your interest, to sit down, to pay your money for a ticket and to watch it, or to get it on DVD or Blu-ray. How do you get someone's interest to see what you have to make? When you have movies like The Fast and the Furious, Star Wars, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, the X-Men, you're already half pre-sold because you know you have the audience. You just say, oh, there's a new Batman movie out. You might not know the actor, you might not know the plot, but you're already thinking, I'm interested enough to see this film, even though you might not know nothing about it. You do the same thing. Okay, this is property X. Well, what's it about? Well, you have no idea, and so they got to try to win you over. And that is the hardest thing. Franchises are already half pre-sold to already get your interest, because if you watched or liked it before, chances are you're at least giving it a nod to, I might check it out. And that's why the franchises and the reboots always happen, because there's a certain expectation already met. You're already half winning that audience, willing to see your product. With a new franchise that's never been done before, it's going to be hard to get, I think, studio approval, because let's say your movie is a sci-fi movie that needs a $200 million budget to really make it work. A studio executive might go, I'm not going to give you $200 million for a property that I have no idea is going to sell. Whereas if you go, I got an Avengers movie that needs a $250 million budget, green light it immediately. That's the difference. And what's going to happen in Hollywood is a lot of good ideas that have big budgets probably will not get made or rejected, or budgets cut in half. And you see the big franchises like Star Wars, like the Marvel, like the DC films, like Superman, Batman especially, and Spider-Man, the X-Men, all this stuff, they could get green lighted for the expensive budgets because the studios are confident they're going to make their money back. But I think the lesser superheroes, the lesser properties, they will not get as big a budget in the future because they don't have an established audience yet and they're not willing to take that chance. I think the industry is going to be tough to get these justifications for huge budgets. It's really going to affect the business in the future. Not right now, really, it's going to affect the business because there are a lot of films that have already been made or were produced or near completion that have the hundreds of millions of dollars. And so they're going to put those films out because they were already budgeted before the coronavirus pandemic and the lockdowns. But I'm talking future movies, like 2 or 3 years from now, getting that approval. So it really is going to affect the business, I think, in terms of budgets and in terms of what gets made in the industry. As for what I think is going to happen is streaming. They're trying to really build up the streaming services, like HBO Max is becoming the DC streaming service, and you got the Disney Plus, the streaming service. This is going to be maybe the future of the movie business. Because one of the things I found out, is that if you get a high quality 65 or 70-inch television in your home, really big, you have a nice couch, a nice distance away, you get like a sound bar or surround sound, and you close the lights and you watch a film at night, it's practically a mini movie theater that you have in your own home with today's technology. You really couldn't do this 30 or 40 years ago. Okay, second part of the video here is rumors I've heard about the MCU or future films that might or might not happen. The first big rumor is supposedly they're going to try to get like Emily Blunt, Tom Cruise, or other actors who tried out or were considered for MCU roles, but they didn't get the job, for them to be alternate versions of, let's say, Black Widow or Tony Stark. That would be kind of weird, but that would also be kind of cool. That actors who were overlooked in the roles of the superheroes that you knew, but from different timelines. Could be, who knows? It seems like everything is up for grabs with this multiverse idea. They have another idea that I've heard, at least, is DC Comics with the Justice League Zack Snyder cut. But the oddest thing about the Ben Affleck Batman is he's never had a solo movie of his Batman. See, the Batman vs. Superman was a shared movie, but the Ben version has never had a Batman solo movie. Not yet. Will he be the one Batman who doesn't get a solo movie his whole career? So that's pretty interesting. Another movie idea, or something I have heard, is I think the guy who played Spawn, what's his name? Michael J. White. He doesn't have much confidence. I read an article that the Todd McFarlane Spawn movie will get made, or at least not for a long time. You see, it was almost 2 years ago that we heard that Blumhouse Productions, who makes a lot of those low-budget horror movies, that they had optioned the film for production. And I think they got Jamie Foxx to play Spawn, but there's been no forward momentum. And there's been no real progress in the past 2 years. So it does make you wonder. But then again, Hollywood is a business where movies can just sit there for many, many years before it finally gets into production. And I think that's one of the cases here that's going on, that the Spawn movie is not progressing. But when I look back on it, as even campy as the original Spawn movie was in the 90s, it actually told the story well of Spawn. It told you basically all you need to know. It told you the comic details and was pretty accurate to the comic book material. Or if you get the premise of what the character's about, it pretty much established the characters and told you what you needed to know. And so that's it. Just some rumors, thoughts about movies, what's going on. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll talk to you later.